Hey everyone. My gosh, and sorry for that. Everything that possibly could have gone wrong there totally did, but I think I figured it out. And unfortunately, we've sort of lost the auction, which I do apologize for, but we're going to work together to try to sort of catch up. How's the sound, SJ? We sounding good here? All right, I think we're okay. Cool. So once again, thanks everyone for jumping into this. I see more folks are piling in. This is game 3 of Premier League, and I've fortunately been away for a while, so I haven't really caught the first couple of games here, but it's very excited to see Bizzle back playing. We've got Claybo, Lord Abyss, who have definitely played a ton in a couple of arena seasons, and Max as well, so this is a really, really cool lineup. I'm just going to do my best to sort of catch us up to speed here, as people are, they're obviously still in already in round 1 and doing stuff, but just going to poke around regardless and kind of look at the setup and stuff as things are breaking down before us. So first of all, we're obviously on revised base, which is always interesting to play. I think most people are probably the least familiar with this map, and it's fun for a couple of factions, but otherwise can be kind of ugly for others. Let's just quickly look at the Bastiles and stuff, and then we'll try to get caught up on what's going on. But Pastile-wise, we've got 2-point Pastiles. So we're missing Trading Post bonus and the big building tile. And then we're also missing the Priest. But otherwise, decent coins in the game. Decent coins, some sort of, expansive kind of scoring. So obviously, we didn't see a Swarmlings pick here. It doesn't have the big building tile and the trading post, the sort of tall scoring. This has got shipping and dwellings kind of scoring. So and with all the coins and stuff, it really does sort of incentivize a shipping kind of, expansive network kind of game. In terms of the track, this looks good for quite a few factions. The early kind of track obviously hits Darklings and Chaos pretty well. Those early water rewards for Mermaids, Witches can make some of this work for sure. Round 6 with the big building is kind of annoying for scoring, but people can kind of make do. Mermaids should be able to abuse the shipping tile decently enough. Darklings usually aren't too keen on trying to use that as a mechanism for scoring, but it'll definitely be, I think that ship tile will be fought over quite a bit by Chaos and Mermaids this game. Cool, so that's sort of a quick overview of the texture of the game itself. We do have the spade tile in, we have a couple of spade rewards, we do have lots of coins, kind of light on workers. There's hardly any workers in the pass tile, and we only have some workers in round 2 on the cult side, so those are really the only workers that are in the game, so to speak, is sort of extra econ, or the round 2 fire workers, and then the worker power. So that is one sort of interesting consideration. Okay, in terms of starting placements, what would have happened here? So Chaos Magicians obviously would have placed last. We would have had Mermaids, Darklings, and then Witches. I guess everyone's kind of starting where we would expect them to. Is C4 where you would expect Darklings to go here? I'm so unfamiliar with this setup, right? I guess on base map, C4 is green, and so the classic thing when Mermaids are in for Witches or Orin to do is to start on C4 and then make their way down to E9. It's kind of to sort of block Mermaids. And it's almost like Darklings kind of did the Witches thing this game and blocked that hex, because it would still be a single dig hex for Mermaids. So I guess that kind of makes sense, but I don't really know where Darklings go from there. I guess they're trying to cut up B4, A8, A7. Yeah, and then they have a decent connection path. Maybe that does kind of make sense. Upgrading. Okay, so SJ is saying Claybo with some leech denial here. Yeah, I guess so. Man, it's always kind of a shame when you get to start on that center hex, which of course is usually gray on this map, and then you don't get to smack a trading post in there and just soak up the leech. But he is in 4th seat, right? So we would have seen Chaos Magicians upgrade first action. Mermaids probably upgrade first action. And then we saw Darklings dig, and then Witches upgraded on B5. Wonder how many times it's gone around so far. We're back to Claybo again, right? So is this it would be Claybo's second move. He hasn't taken a power action, yeah. Darklings dug into him, presumably to get a neighbor. Oh, and whoa. Hold up. Can anyone else here kind of share in the confusion with me slightly? We're seeing 2 trading post witches here. Your explanation, Clable looking to dip below 400 elo. The only times I've opened 2 trade, or I've built 2 trading, that I've had this board state as witches, we'll say, where if you looked at the board state in round 1, I had 2 trading posts. So when I was on the big building tile and you were opening Stronghold Temple Dwelling, but he's not on the big building tile and he doesn't look like he's taking the worker's action. So I have done this before where there was a trading post event. You go TP, get a bunch of leech, take the worker's action, build a stronghold, build a temple, and then fly. It's all actually doable if you're on the big building tile and get action 3. It's kind of an edge case opening, but I mean, that's the only time I've actually sort of seen this 2 trading posts on the board for witches. But otherwise, my point being, I'm not exactly sure what Clabo's angle is here, other than like take a worker's action, open double temple. Is he playing like green cultists? I don't really know. He had a spade. I don't really understand what was wrong with just like A10, A11, get a couple dwellings down. But anyhow, TP round, obviously. Yeah, I guess that's the answer right there. It's 3 points. So he'll dig down. I guess he digs what, 2 dwellings down this round, and then builds a stronghold in round 2. Gosh, that also seems really unnecessary. Why would he take single spade there? He has a spade in hand, and he only has 1 more worker. The single spade block to who? To Chaos. Was that single spade block on Chaos? Indeed. I don't know, guys. Okay, otherwise, who is doing normal stuff here? Darkling started on F3. They dug into the center. They upgraded there to get a lot of leech. They're going to take a worker's action right now, I would assume, before someone else does, and then their game looks pretty nice. This is probably a worker's action from Darklings. Can't imagine what else it would be. And Bizzle has opened Earth 1 and Water 2. I always feel as Chaos if you're opening, like if you're not opening Sanctuary and you're just opening with like 2 favorite tiles, I always find it's like so expensive not to take two like econ ones in round 1. And especially with the second econ behavior being like Water 2, which, I mean, in this case, it's coming with a spade, and a spade is econ, but still, it's not like... My point being is Bizzle's going to end round 1 with none of the following favorite tiles. Fire 1, Air 2, Earth 2. That's what I mean to say in a convoluted way. And that just seems really expensive. Why do Darklings want workers? That's a good point, Deranged, because normally they want workers. But you're right, they had 1 priest, they dug it to E. Yeah, I don't actually know. It's a good point. They have nowhere else to dig another dwelling. Yeah. I just saw the priest in hand and saw 2 workers, and usually like you just want to get another dwelling down, but I get your point that unless they had a second priest, they're not doing anything with workers. Yeah, that's what I would have thought George won. That Earth 1 seems wrong. I don't really get... I don't know. Maybe he thinks there's a lot of pressure on it? I don't really know. I mean, it doesn't really look like mermaids are trying to grab Earth 1 here, like just by building out dwellings and stuff, but I do understand, like, I sometimes find it annoying as Chaos when you end the game with like all these 10 favorite tiles or something crazy, and you've like missed some of the scoring ones. I find with Chaos, I like famously get Water 1 blocked. I can never seem to get Temple on that. Anyhow, this is just what Bizzle does. Yes, fair enough. By the way, Max crushed this auction. Mermaids are going to win Network Sandwiched. So Mermaids were the 40 faction because they were in a sandwich. Yeah. Yeah, man, Mermaids on base map are one of those factions. It's like in a sandwich. It's like if they have the econ, they can still go 3 town here. Like no one plays in the West. Like green and black just don't play in the West. Like they just take F2, they get I2, they to do the whole bridge town. They've got the Northwest, and then they find a hex somewhere, B3, A8. They get a sanctuary town up there. Yeah. Yeah, sandwiched mermaids. They're like, some factions, like being sandwiched is like super, super painful. And like mermaids, I find, are like the most cushy. If you had to be sandwiched with a faction, like being sandwiched with mermaids on base map is like pretty chill, especially revised base. Yeah. Welcome, first-time viewers. Who have we got here? Silkman Freund? Silkman Freund? Good Lord Abyss. Yeah, it's fun to see Lord Abyss playing. I've gotten my butt kicked with him quite a bit in arena seasons. So Lord Abyss has a cult spade because he sent his priest to water. I guess that kind of makes sense. He wasn't using it in round 1 for a dwelling. Unclear where he puts it. I think he'd love to put it. I guess he just puts it on B4, right? Is there any reason why the cult spade just doesn't go on B4? Does it go on E5 because he thinks Chaos might take it? I don't know. Chaos will have to go west. They will lose B4 to Darklings. Yes, that's true. That's another thing I didn't point out about that C4 start. I was too distracted by the fact that it just seemed like an odd placement to actually like discuss what the ramifications were to other players. But yeah, of course, it's like an important, it's fairly important hex for, or no, it's a very important hex for Chaos. It opens up A9, but it also gives them like a hex that they can like hit D6 or E8 or like literally expand to the rest of the map. So yeah, no, that's a really good point. With Darklings having being on C4 and having Tempo on B4, Chaos are definitely going to play west, which is very good for mermaids, right? Classic round 2 stronghold for mermaids. Cool. So no, sorry, George. Real econ favor Chaos opening and a round 2 mermaid stronghold. So I had mermaids pegged as like just kind of winning this game, but now I'm not really sure. Yeah, and like Claybo's opening was odd, but at the end of the day, he's going to build a dwelling on A11 and then like fly somewhere like G3 or E9. So he's going to end stronghold trading post for dwelling into round 2. Seems okay. Why did I have mermaids winning? I don't know. I saw mermaids playing in a stream that you streamed a game recently, Deranged, where mermaids just like a lot of good things happened. Maybe that's skewing my perception of mermaids. Well, because they were the 40 faction, they started with 40 victory points. I don't think mermaids being in a sandwich is really much of a thing, and the fact that, although it took me a while to pick up on this, the fact that Darkling started on C4 and can take B4 means Chaos has to play Wests. So the only downside here to mermaids is that they don't have neighbors. They're lacking nomads, but Chaos is just going to play nomads here. They're just going to get onto D3 and E3 and give mermaids a bunch of leech. And so, you know, mermaids' neighbor problem isn't going to be such a huge problem. Like, they're going to have Chaos on B2. They're going to have Chaos on E3. Like, they can just 3-town here and start with 40 points. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Aside from the stronghold, I think I liked mermaids the most. Darklings seem fine, but I don't know. Their expansion seems iffy. Just kind of seems like it might be kind of like a slow Darklings game. So I would have thought mermaids were probably the best, followed by Darklings, and I don't really know what the other two, but yeah, Stronghold is sort of, it's like a really expensive Heir 2 that does not provide priest production. So it's sort of Heir 2, George. This is just Max being goofy. It has to be. This whole Stronghold thing. No, there's no big building tile, but there's a ship tile. So there's sort of, there's some synergy with the stronghold and the ship tile, I guess. Wonder if Max has an eye on a town next round. I mean, he might, but stronghold not in the greatest place, really, for that to be super helpful. Like, yeah, he's not in the ship tile and doesn't have priest production now. It's super true. Yep. I just assume it's just Max being kind of goofy. Lord Abyss's position looks pretty good. I mean, it's a harder map for Darklings, right? So he's got, the sort of standard good opening of, Sanctuary, 3 dwellings. He's carved out a center town. Seems to be in an okay position. So what else are we going to see this round? Hey, Heroic. Bizzle did miss out on workers. I missed it, probably Claybo, right? After a 2 trading post opening, getting a stronghold out and some dwelling. Like, he must have had a workers action in there. I didn't see it, but math tells me that must be the case. Yeah, the East is totally lonely. Which is kind of surprising. Okay, what if I thought Darklings and Witches would have wanted to be over there? Mordor. Yeah. So I'm just taking a look at other comments. I'm sure I've missed some. Hey, Relentless. Yeah, you're welcome. Sorry for starting so late. Okay, I'm going back to a comment here. Silkman Frund helping me out with the pronunciation of the person who's playing Darklings. Ibis. You think it's Ibis as he's Danish. Usually says Ibish in Danish and Lord in English. Lord Ibis? Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so what else has happened? Mermaids have passed onto the ship tile. Makes a lot of sense. They get to probably open with a coins action or something. Darklings pass onto worker power. Seems okay. They'd love coins. They probably don't get them. Darklings do town next round. They need another priest. If they had a... Can Darklings town next round? Maybe. They might be able to figure that out. Yeah. Yeah, they totally could. They buy a priest, and then they need 5 coins. Yeah. Hard to beat Stronghold Witches. Yeah. Yeah. It seemed kind of goofy at the beginning, and I'm not sure it was good for Claybo to open those 2 trading posts, but like, yeah, his economy is recovering for sure. Like, I don't know, he seems fine at a glance. To E9 George means. Sorry, what comment did I mean? What comment did I miss? Oh, anyhow, I'm missing all kinds of stuff. So I didn't catch how ugly that was for Bizzle. He missed the workers action, right? So how did he get this sanctuary out? Did he have to like convert? He probably did a 3 power to worker? Is that what happened there? Oh, it was priest to worker and 3 power worker. Yeah, that's ugly. Especially when like priest to earth is still open here. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's pretty rough. Oh, yikes. Oh, I see what you guys are saying. Water 1 and Earth 2. This seems so expensive. It seems super expensive. I mean, there's a lot of coins in the game, but still, like, man. Ugh. And the next 2 rounds are just telling you to build dwellings, which means he just wants to ship and just, like, he just wants to burn coins for the next couple rounds. Like, gosh. Econ's looking snazzy. Yeah. I don't know. Make 2 TPs here. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, advanced ship. Off to the races. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he'll figure some stuff out, but it's fire 2 plus a fire 1. Yeah, it's hard to say. The extra priest production as chaos is nice, for sure. Just having 1 priest to work with every bloody round as chaos is, like, not super fun, I find. I do really appreciate the games where the track sort of, like, incentivizes you to go, like, temple and a dwelling in round 1 and then a second temple in round 2 with, like, an extra dwelling, like that kind of thing, and then just, like, build your sanctuary later. Having that sort of, like, 2 priest production is super, super nice. Water 2 is helping here for sure. I mean, he doesn't have to send his priest to Earth, for instance, to get that spade. But I don't know that he's getting enough value out of it, really. Would anyone snatch 2 Key Town? So Chaos is 2 moves away from it. I mean, Darklings won't. Would Claybo? He would single spade, build a dwelling, and then trading post. So Claybo has 2 Key Town tempo on Chaos if he wants it. I don't know if that's particularly good for Claybo. Yeah, which is good. Yeah. Mermaid's digging A8 here. Yeah. I mean, the thing about that is, like, how is that stronghold going to be part of a town unless you build a temple over there? So, like, and go stronghold sanctuary and then take, like, B3. I guess my point is there a world where you do take A8 because you actually want it for a town? You bridge to B3 and make a 4-hex town with that stronghold. He has no landscape, right? So he might want both hexes. And then, like, a bridge, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea what you do with a stronghold on D5. I mean, if he doesn't, then he's building a temple on C3, I guess, and turning it into a saint. Yeah, there you go. Ugh, yeah, this is just, like, rough for Darklings. Yeah, is the 2 Key Town good here for witches? I don't really know how good it is. Yeah, 6 digs for a town. Yeah, revised base sometimes feels like a bit like Fjords for Darklings. There's just a lot of really expensive digging you want to do early. Like, I'd try to build another temple here, I think, as Darklings this round. Like, having 3 priest production around is just, like, really helpful. The really sad thing is, like, if he had not double dug before, He could have bought a priest, triple dug G2, built a trading post, and towned this round. But I don't know. I think his Darklings here, I'd probably just build another temple. Feels really early for Water 1, though, is the problem. So I don't know if you just take an econ favor as Darklings right now. Probably. I don't know what, though. I don't know. I think as Darklings, because I've often done this on Fjords, and some of my better games have worked out this way when you just have really expensive digging, and what you really want is like 3 priest production by round 4, or in other words, like a round 3 temple, is that my first 2 favors are both econ favors, and then you just build a temple in round 3, and those like 2 econ favors really help you to build an earlier temple. So I think that's what I might have angled for here, was just like taking Earth 2 or even Air 1 or something as Darklings, or sorry, Air 2 last round, and then build your temple for Earth 1 this round, and then kind of get going the following round. But I don't know. Doesn't always work out. So Claybo built a temple for Water 1 because he wants to build a trading post this round and town, which makes sense, but he's seeded 2-key town tempo. So Bizzo gets his 2-key town. Guess prioritizing E5 over A8. Was costly. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he should have dug B4 instead of E5. The other thing is Darklings could fire 2. Just to get just a town up early. Should have dug B4. Yeah. Fair enough. That makes sense. Just to get temple on A8. Yeah, because that would have been a really nice town. Like, there's no pressure on A7. He would have had 2 neighbors there with witches, like probably 3 neighbors, because chaos on A6. Like, it's a pretty sick town to have like 4 hexes for 3 digs and adjacency on 3. So yeah, I get your point. Probably pushing for B4 did make sense. So mermaids take a copy of Water 1. So Water 1 is gone. So as Lord Abyss, do you fire 2 here? Do you build another trading post and town up? Because if you temple, okay. Because if you temple for anything but fire 2, you don't get your town this round. So he just went for 2 trading posts. And took Shiptown? Is that what that was? Yeah, it was Shiptown. Which makes sense. I mean, next round is a dwelling round. He's gonna, like, he needs shipping, right? So that does makes a lot of sense. Build 2 trading posts this round to hit the track sort of helps offset the fact that you're, not getting Water 1 this game. So yeah, having open trading posts like that on the board is never like usually that great. Like, it's kind of hard on your economy, but as long as he can get a bunch of dwellings, get some dwellings out next round, I think it'll be okay. He has 3 digs. And 1 shipping. Yeah. I don't know. You can get a few dwellings out anyhow. Darklings could triple dig D6 with double dig. Yep. I don't know if he's going to actually fight for that town at this point. Yeah, the problem is like there aren't other good town spots, right? So it's like it's inefficient to take 2 hexes with 6 digs, obviously, but where does Darklings try to relocate to develop further? Obviously, like f5, g5 is I think where they'd want to be, assuming that like witches will go e9 and try to town there and stuff. But like it's just very expensive also for Darklings to get there. Claybo still has a stronghold action. Maybe this is e9 right now. Most likely this is just an e9 flight, I would assume. Yeah. And then Darklings have to pass here. So they probably... I wonder if Darklings take temp ship here. I might take temp ship here as Darklings. An upgrade ship or something. Yeah. Yeah. That's the line. Okay, I think this looks pretty. 79. Yeah. So I think Darklings upgrade ship manually once more, and then they dig f5, build on f5, g5, h5, and b3 next round, and I think they have enough for that, which gets them to 7 dwellings on the board. Yeah, that's nice. That looks good. Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. Darkling's coming to help Clay win. Yeah, just on time. So Bizzle in first seat, snaps coins action, makes sense. Max taking double dig here. Because there's no pressure on it. It's two 3 spots in the cult still just open, but maybe no one cares. Oh, there we go. Okay, that was double dig. Yep, makes sense. This is probably this is just B3 here for Darklings. I mean, Mermaids like would have taken B4 there or B3 there if they wanted it, right? But like, they didn't, so it's probably safe. But might as well take it now. Bizzle is such a greedy player. I think he's, it's like round 4. I guess he's okay. He did take the 4 for 3. I mean, he's probably right to decline power more than I do, but it's just like, I just find Bizzle can be a very, like, points greedy player. So it looks good for Mermaids, though. Hey, all that adjacency in the west, other than their goofy stronghold. Like, it's just really nice that Chaos is coming west. It looks so good. So Mermaids sent their priest to Earth as opposed to sending it... Oh, they have the cult bump. That makes sense. So they can cult bump water and get the priest reward. That's good. So what's Claybo up to this round? He doesn't have any... he doesn't have any power for spades, so dwelling round. He wants to get down some dwellings. He just hard dig and maybe take single spade this round? Probably. Wait, what? Bizzle speed? So Bizzle spades G1. I might not be following that. So Bizzle spades G1, nice. Oh, What's so good about Bizzle being on G1? Spade bonus. Oh, I see. Just in terms of the amount of dwellings he's able to get out. Just in terms of the 4 dwellings. I see what you mean. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's super efficient. When you're at E3, 1 spade, yeah, opening up 3 hexes. Yeah, so he doesn't even need to go to 2 ship this round. Yeah. Yeah, it'll look really good. So that was a hard dig from Claybo. Assume Claybo is going to want that single spade to come to him if he can. If he gets some leech. If he doesn't, probably a priest to occult. I think that's what I would do in Claybo's position. Try to like maybe send the priest to air and then take single spade. Well, or maybe you just like, you could just fly to I6 or something. I don't know what he does. The Claybo here could just fly to like I6 and then pass on to the dwelling tile. Not many jumps yet. Yeah, the only reason I sort of said maybe with I6, and I don't bother to count it out right now, but is witches when you're trying to like 3-town, especially with a stronghold, you got to be a little careful about tossing dwellings around on the board. Sometimes when you're trying to configure towns, if you're short structures, the fact that you just threw a dwelling on a green that's not going to be part of a town cost you a whole extra like temple build. Like you need to temple TP to get that extra structure down and stuff. So I didn't do the math, but like, you sometimes have to be a little bit careful about that. SJ is wondering if Lordibus is digging G6 here. Yeah, I mean, I guess he probably does. I mean, Claybo can still try to send priests to cult and get single spade. To take G6 this round. That last dwelling doesn't give him any extra econ, but I think he can secure the hex ahead of Darklings, maybe. 3 towns. Oh, I see what you mean, Ghostly. Yeah, as soon as Darklings build on F5, then Claybo has the power to single spade. He doesn't even need to like send his priest off for leech. Yeah. The other piece about that is like G6 is important, but it's not as juicy as it was on base map. I believe it's I12 and H8 are reversed. So G6 is really nice because then it opens up a gray, which then gives you another green. But here it's just like it's a single dig hex, and that's, just sort of a brick wall of H8, like, so if someone does take G6 on this map, well, at least in this configuration, of course, it's different per color wheel, but his pivot would be D7 and E10. He's like short 1 dig, but that's it. Digging E10 is like an extra spade. So it's certainly annoying, but it's not, I don't think, the end of the world. But anyhow, he does do what we expected him to. And actually, this is really nice from Claybo because he's getting on all the hexes just before Darklings is. So he's getting all the leech and sort of giving none, which is what I think someone was pointing out earlier about leech. So, yeah, I think someone beat me to that. Yeah, nice play here. Yeah, I agree. It's like really nice sequence, super clean. Not really sure what Claybo passes for here. Well, here, like when it comes back to him, like his turn is pretty much done. I don't think he stays in the round for anything. He's probably just grabbed ship VP when it comes back around to him or something. I don't know. Yeah, this is super convenient for witches to just have. This is exactly what you want as witches. Just like want space, and then you want adjacency when it's convenient. You're wondering if Clay builds a TP here. Yeah, so like priest to worker and burn down to 4 to get a TP this round. Maybe. I mean, it is. Yeah, it is a very strong move actually to do that. I think you might be right, SJ. I don't know that he does it. Like it. I don't know if he just like rather pass on to cult coins or ship BP. Um. Yeah, but yeah, I'm kind of a fan of TP here. It's always like a little bit sad converting priests to workers, but like you got to know when to do it in Terra Mystica. Zorus was like one of those players that like I noticed early on, like just like doesn't hesitate to convert a priest to a worker when it was like when you were supposed to. He was like just did it. I always like kind of have like a little like I don't know OCD like about yeah don't want to accept those small like inefficiencies. Um, but yeah, this is like really strong. Yeah, good call on that. Like this is very strong position for witches. He's stronghold, earth 1, water 1. Like yeah, all his dwellings down or 7 dwellings down with a trading post. Like this is pretty well developed. It's like 3 towns carved out. Like it's this is fairly low pressure, right? Like he just builds a sanctuary on B5. He digs D7. He builds trading posts. His town in the north is a little awkward, so maybe he does fire 2 and builds an expensive trading post, or I don't know. But like this is a fairly low pressure game at this point. This is like pretty cushy stuff. He just like has to, make sure he's got the resources to do what he needs to do and like make sure he can, afford 3 ship advances by the end of the game. But he's carved himself out his entire game at this point. It's like kind of just coasting at this point. As you guys all mentioned, like Bizzle's done good stuff this round for sure. That spade on G1, as you mentioned, Ghostly, definitely put in work. He used his water 2 bump here on water, so he's got 3 priest production going into next round, builds the dwelling, and presumably just slides onto 6 coins at the end of this round, which I don't think he's too sad about. So okay, I'm missing a bunch of stuff. Priests are just fancy workers or even fancier coins. True story. Yep. Nice pass here. I didn't actually see the pass for Darklings. Kind of missed that. Black also looks good. Okay. So you like Black's game? I mean, I guess they are connected. I mean, they have to pay for their 3rd ship advance, but they're functionally connected, so that's nice. Isn't always the case for Darklings. Yeah, I mean, Darklings just like have the East Town now, which is pretty straightforward. If they triple dig A6, I don't think Mermaids or Chaos spite double dig A5, so like they might just have a 3rd town up in the north there. Maybe this round. Yeah. So Darklings have 3 towns carved out. And they're connected. Seems okay. It's not clear how many. I guess they'll come in 3rd for network here. They should be able to beat Chaos's network. Chaos is going to run out of spots to like build structures soon. Unless they get onto E8, which I guess they probably just do. Yeah. Actually, maybe I'm completely wrong. Do Chaos just get to upgrade to 2 ship and take all these reds like E8, well, dig E8 and then D6, C5, A12? Yeah, CM's going east. Like Darklings would have to be the ones to stop them on E8. I assume Darklings just want to like secure their town in the north this round. And so they won't have any more digs to like block Chaos from going east, which means Chaos can be somewhat competitive on network. Sorry, like against Darklings. I mean, I assume it's going like Witches, Mermaids, Darklings, Chaos here for network. Darklings take D6. No. I think what happens here, I think, whose turn is it? Well, he might take A6 right now. But if he doesn't, I think what would happen... Okay. What I was about to say is as soon as Chaos upgrades to 2 ship, Darklings just take A6. Or so, Darklings just take A6 to stop Chaos from being able to take it. And then Darklings would be out of Priest, so then Chaos would just take E8 and D6 and C5. That's what I thought would happen. But we see a single dig instead, which seems really sketchy. I don't really understand that. Yeah, I don't know, Ghostly. Like the thing about Chaos is at a certain point you kind of just start digging random yellows as a place to expand and to build dwellings. Like kind of like engineers, like, you know, so like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess the thing is it's like if Chaos takes A6, Darklings can counter on E8, and the two of them, like, you know, yeah. I think this is like, you don't, I kind of think that A6 was a silly move, but like, because I don't know what, I guess the thing is Darklings want to use those 2 priests to build 2 dwellings this turn on H7 and I10. Is that the play? Like 2 trading posts and 2 dwellings this round? You didn't want to waste more than that on A6, but I don't know. Yeah. That was a little risky. I think Bizzle did the right thing by not like fighting for A6 and then losing E8. Like that's not what you want to do at expert tables. Darklings want to stall. Do you think that was more of a stall move? I guess, of course, yeah, Darklings are behind Mermaids on the dwelling tile. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a very good point. All right, folks, so who's winning this? Who's winning this game? Claybo. Claybo's winning this game, right? Team Claybo. Witches, yeah. I'm just trying to read Claybo's I11 play here. Is there a world where Claybo's trying to go 4 towns here? No. That's just him using his flight somewhere that he can later connect to. What am I talking about? Don't be so silly, Weber. It's just it's Claybo, right? So you have to check. Yeah, where to jump, yeah. Claybo takes single spade to turn. Ugh. don't love that. That h8? I guess it saves a trading post, but why would he care? Like, he can build a dwelling in h8 and then he towns up. So it sort of saves a trading post. Sorry, I'm just fussing a little bit over town configurations on like why Clabo would take h8 versus d7. I guess the slight reason is that like if he builds a dwelling onto h8, that's a town. He can then use both of his trading posts in the north, which means he can sanctuary for something other than fire too. It's a network play. Oh, h8. That's he's just digging himself a connection path. Single spade is always worse than hard dig. George, I thought you were my guy to back me up, but that's not the case. Always. Or is George just being funny? Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes George says things in chat that are like sarcastically and I take them way too seriously, and then he's like, dude. Correct. Did I say correct earlier? Are you guys quoting me? Or just people in general? So I'm guilty of saying correct sometimes. It's a little arrogant. Terra Mystica isn't a solved game, so it's an ongoing joke. Yeah, for sure. I'm guilty of saying that. Yeah. It's a whole lot of hex numbers chickens. Let me see if I can do it. H8, I10. If he gets H8 and I10. Yep. I10. H6, then he gets connection for 2 ship. Oh, that's true. I do love to save on shipping costs. Like when players can organize that for themselves. Also, I10, I mean, Darklings probably don't care, but if witches get I10, it's like, I guess, a little bit more annoying for Darklings to town up. Okay, sorry. I was fussing about towns and Clabo and all kinds of stuff. I forgot that Darklings, I didn't see that Darklings just built their damn dwelling on A6. So who was right earlier when you were like, dude, it's just about a stalling move? I forget who said that. Is it Matt or Chickens? SJ? I don't know. I can just start saying random names. But yeah, the good call. So Darklings do just take A6 here. Still think it was like kind of a shady stall move. It seemed a little sus, but so Clabo Towns here. For something. Yeah, I don't know. I assume Clabo just builds a dwelling here on H8. Coin Town is the best town. You know, SJ was just thinking about a coin town because he needs a lot of coins here, right? He's going shipping. And he's back to 8 dwellings on the board, and he'd love to build a trading post. One of them needs to be expensive in the north. So, like, if you're going to build an expensive trading post, like, might as well just coin town now and build it, right? Like, yeah. I think this makes a lot of sense. I think he built a trading post on A10 this round, and that's, like, pretty efficient. Power Town? I mean, Coin Town is just better if all you want are coins. Power Town is in theory could be good if like you used it to immediately get spades We trash it a lot, but like I've thought about it for engineers. Like if double dig was in and you could just like take a power town and then snap double dig, like it doesn't seem to happen that much. I guess double dig is usually taken pretty early in the round, but I don't know. Yeah. 8 power for 5 victory points. It's not terrible. Yeah, power town would be great if the power town reset mid round. Yep. Yeah, I guess that's the fair point. It's like by the time you town up, there's just like not a lot of stuff lying around. I guess I'll deep finesse, take like a power town. When there was like other obvious towns sitting around and it like seemed odd, and then you just like snap double dig and it felt like super efficient. All right. So how's Bizzle's game going? So Bizzle just gets a second town here. We haven't talked a ton about Bizzle's game other than poking fun of his favorite tile selection. But yeah, like he's contesting 3 cults. Like he wins 3 cults this game, probably. He probably gets another town. He doesn't have a pass tile going into the last round, but yeah, it's true. He needs yeah, it's super true. Like the thing about like fire is like he might not need a key for fire. Like darklings aren't going to contest it, and mermaids and witches aren't going to contest it. So I don't think he needs to waste a key there. Mermaids might contest water, so he probably uses a key there. Like sometimes when you're just like trying to fight this many cults, like you do run into, key issues. But this is such like a non-cult heavy game. That like he might be able to get away with just like securing the cults he needs to and then founding his town like a little later into round 6 and coming out of it, 3 or 4 cults. Seems good. Bizzle has a lot of stall left. He still could get a pass tile. Is that true? He has 2 priests. And 2 priests. Okay. Yeah, it's true. I mean, that is 2 rounds. I guess Darklings do pass before Chaos. Does Klebo get Darklings pass tile here, though? No. Darklings build another dwelling. So Klebo sends his priest off, or can, to stall. Witches send priest, Chaos sends priest, mermaids, I don't know, they have a bunch of resources, they do something. Darklings build another dwelling. They burn power to build another dwelling. Klebo passes. Klebo has a cult step. Oh, wait a second. Klebo ends up on the ship VP here, right? Klebo has the cult step. Klebo can take 2 more actions, and Darklings can only do 1. And no one gets the dwelling tile because mermaids can outstall Chaos. Klebo just passes now for worker power. Okay. So. Or that. I guess. So if that gives him a coin action he doesn't otherwise get, then that's 5 coins and a worker and 3 power he passed for. I don't know. Because Clabo, what does Clabo need? He needs a sanctuary next round. He builds a trading post after Chaos comes to 812. He needs to upgrade ship 3 times. He probably wants to hard dig somewhere so that he can fly somewhere in the east and not just like fly to A3 for 2 Earth 1 points, but to actually make his network one more structure. Yeah. It's doable. Yeah, it is tight. I see, yeah, why he passed. If you do the math, he's like, he needs that coin action, and I think he like wants to take another coin town here. That is the thing about witches, like on base map when you do this kind of configuration. It's like, yeah, paying for 3 shipping in round 6 is always pretty annoying. Oh, okay. And we see mermaids take the last coin town. I hope that isn't too problematic for Clay. So Bizzle does just get the ship tile here. Ship town's always an option. It's true, it is less resources though. It's 1 less resource. But yeah, it is an option. Yeah, I mean, this is nice for Bizzle. Looks great. Mermaids finish up their round with another dwelling, presumably. And then pass on to the spade or coins or something. So mermaids have 2 more towns coming in. They're building a sanctuary, probably for Air 1 next round. Yeah, they probably pass on to the spade. That way they can sanctuary for Air 1. They can build a trading post, and then they can build another dwelling and then just town up that way. Yeah. Then they'll be at 14 network. Like they'll basically just have like 3 temples left on their board. I don't know what to do with the rest of the resources. Upgrade ship. Yeah, upgrade ship a couple times. There's the pass. 8 points, looks pretty good. I assume this is the spade. I mean, if he's planning on hard digging a dwelling next round, the spade's just better. So coins here for Claybo. Spade always better. Yeah. I think so, George. I think there are technically edge cases where it isn't always, but I think I'd have to think about that. Cool. So we still on Team Claybo here? What about the rest of these guys? Where do people stack up? And like, how is Max doing here with his like hilarious round 2 stronghold shenanigans? I mean, he's got lots of stuff out. He's got his, you know. Water 2 always best. Yeah. The list of always. There's a lot of like certainty in Terra Mystica for a game that's not solved. The more I play Terra Mystica, the more I think the expert community has no idea what we're talking about. In chess, you can get like two like top level like grandmasters to play a game, play 10 games, and like I think 7 are a draw. You need 10 games to like for someone to actually like win, right? Terra Mystica, you can get like 4 like top experts together to talk through a game pretty openly, and there'll be like a 30 victory point variance. So it's like we obviously don't know what the heck we're talking about because like we can't agree on what's supposed to happen. Like it's not. So I don't know. Anytime I see these like massive point variance games when there's like 4 like 600 rated like high 500 rated players at a table and you have like a 20 point or a 30 point from top to bottom, it's like, yeah, okay, so like point, like none of us know actually how to play this game as it turns out. That might be a little harsh, but that's my usual go-to response for some of the always talk, which I'm also guilty of. It does sneak up in the vernacular. Such and such was correct, and so forth. Anyhow, is this Air 1 from Max? Presumably? Okay, but check out 2-player TM games. What happens in 2-player TM games, Matt? Are they more solved? Because I guess they're apples to apples. You're saying check out 2-player TM games. Are they more? Are they closer? I guess they could be. I guess then the consideration with 2 players, you'd also need to find a lot of players who are like very good at 2-player games. They're a lot closer. Okay, fair enough. So the 4-player does add. Yeah. Even in a perfect information game, the fact that you're interacting with 3 other people, yeah, does make it a lot harder for people to have close point gaps. That's understandable. They'd be more chess-like, yeah. Assuming you had 2-player specialists. Like, I'm not that great 2-player as far as 2-player people go because I don't play it a ton, but it's a straight-up knife fight. Yeah. A knife fight, but where there's just like everything lying around for everyone, so nothing really hurts that bad. I don't know much about 2-player. I play some 2-player bullets and stuff every once in a while, but cool. So what's happening right now? We've got Darklings about to try to town up again. Because they're digging, what, G4 here? Sort of lost track of their game. They're buying another priest. Okay. All right, Darklings have fire too. So they'll still need to build another temple here, like unless they go stronghold, which seems bad. They build a trading post in the east, and then they build a dwelling. We need another trading post. They do another temple, and then another trading post, I guess, which they have the workers for. Is Claybo building another dwelling? Skip the SA altogether. Well, that definitely is the network play. It's a good question, right? Like, a sanctuary is, assuming Bizzle eventually comes to A11 or A12 and witches get to build their trading post there, etc., etc. Sanctuary is like a 9-point building. Step on air. Wait, how would he build another dwelling? Were you guys talking about how if he could just like town up by building another dwelling up there on a red? I don't think he had the resources for that. I actually didn't see this line for Claybo to afford the shipping. The fact that Fire 2 just saves him 5 resources for a trading post is pretty sweet. Power Town for single dig I-12? Oh, I see what you mean. So as opposed to going 3 ship, he would just dig down another dwelling and then need less resources for shipping. Yeah, I see what you guys mean. That can be pretty solid. Like I'd have to, rewind the tape and sort of math that out, but getting an extra structure and saving on a shipping advance can be pretty good. But here it looks like Claybo just advances ship 3 times, and that's all his resources except for he has a worker and a flight, which he doesn't use because there's no green hexes on the map, nor does he have a dwelling. So, yeah. Oh, are you guys saying that Claybo could single spade here, build a trading post, and then fly, and then still connect with the rest of his resources? No. If he had taken a power town or something. So Claybo ends with 3 structures. Darklings, get this last dwelling down somehow. How do Darklings build this town? Gosh, do they temple, and then they use 2 workers and their 3 coins they have in their power bowl. That's their trading post. And then is that how they town here? Or am I missing something? And then they don't have enough resources to get down another dwelling, so they end up with 4 structures. Stronghold, maybe? God, it's gross. Does that help them get out another? I guess, yeah. If they took, if they built a stronghold, like he has 8 coins with his current power. So he has 2 coins left after he builds a stronghold. He takes a worker town, converts 1 worker to a priest. He now has 3 priests, a worker, and 2 coins, and so he triple digs H8 and builds a dwelling. Okay. That's not that bad. I mean, that's when the landscape would be like really snazzy, but man, down to the wire though. So Lord Ibis gets like 20 more points this round between a worker town, a stronghold, a triple dig, and a dwelling. So he's 123, and then he passes for nothing and has, I don't know, 131 with cults plus network, which he ties. So he ties witches on network. I see what you guys mean. Max isn't getting down another structure. Bizzle doesn't get... So Bizzle comes 4th in network, right? Yeah. So it's a 3-way tie for 1st in network. The stronghold, new meta. Yeah, I wish there could be like some edge cases where the stronghold like would be more viable, but like, I mean, other than it scoring 5 points and allowing you to hit the 2 worker tile if it's in the game, Like a Temple for Air 2 is just like better. I don't know. It's unfortunate that like the mermaid's landscape didn't interact with Stronghold in a different way. Like that's why like I love Darkling's strong or landscape because it just like interacts with the Stronghold a bit more and just like pulls it into the game a bit more. But I just CM can get to 14. How? Power from cults. Oh, I'm totally snoozing on this. Bizzle hasn't towned up. He uses his water 2-step for power on air, builds a trading post. Is that what happens? Oh, he built a temple and we're waiting for mermaids. I see. Sorry. I've been yammering away about various things. Looks like Max is like having connection issues or something. Water 2 unstoppable. I don't know about that. My hot take is Fire 1 is also fine. Fire 2, Earth 3. Fire 2 and Air 1. Oh, yeah, it's got to be Air 1, right? Oh, then he might as well take... Oh, yeah, and he goes Fire 2. I see. And then, but he does take Fire 2 because he doesn't build a trading post, so that means he doesn't have to work with a coin. And then he Fire 2, so he can town up now. He still builds the trading post, but he's able to preserve his workers as workers, so he can go to another dwelling, something like that. Yeah. Also, if on the outside chance that there's some folks who are not as familiar with the BGA user interface, if you ever see this happen, this means the player is like having connection issues. Like Max is like not online right now, so it's like it's important. I mean, this is a tournament game, so they're not going to, but like yeah, important to just like not kick people when this kind of crap's happening. We'll just hang tight. Also, my apologies that I didn't log into my other like Weber AJ streaming account, so you're getting a notification in the top left corner of like literally like every player that's online and offline. Ruh-roh. This is a long. I'm just gonna do this so I can see the table chat. I don't know if I can get to the game. Just trying to see if they're chatting at the table. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I have like a funny thing built into my browser to make the whole like layout look like this, but one little bug in it is like disables the table chat. And when it's on, I can't, apparently, I'm realizing this, open up a new tab and like, see the game without all this like decorative overlay stuff. So I have no idea if they're like chatting amongst themselves about this. It's not good though. This is this is a long wait. like this has been 4 minutes or something we've been waiting for that Max has been offline, which would suggest it's more than like the usual computer glitch restart, like, restate your modem, something like that. Usually doesn't take more than a couple minutes. If this goes on for much longer, just for those who are watching, what I'm sure would probably happen is, and I'm sure we're all hoping Max comes back, but we might have to switch the game into turn-based to finish it, which is always another option. You can switch games to turn-based just to sort of preserve the game. But anyhow, we'll get back to comments while we're waiting. So Chaos was bid down a lot and also had a lot go against them round 1 or round 2. Are they still winning here? Yeah, Chaos was bid down a lot. I think I did miss the first part of the game. Of course, I was fussing with audio issues and so forth while people were bidding. Like on normal base map in this sort of like when Chaos has no color neighbors and they're on the other end of the color wheel from a 3 in a row, like bidding them down a lot makes a lot of sense. My issue is they're just, I find they're just like so bad on revised base that like, I don't know. I don't know what the exact bidding was, but I'm not sure I would have wanted to, even in this color wheel, bid down Chaos that much. Yeah. On like base map, if you have no color neighbors on the other end of a 3 in a row, and like you can, I don't know, get a power tile in first seed or like something and like get E7 and like no bads aren't in. So you just get the nice center town and all that expansion and stuff. Like Chaos can be like super broken, but here like you don't get any of that benefit, right? Like you don't get your nice center town. Like there's nothing super smooth for you here. No temples from witches and mermaids help CMs here a lot. Yeah, it's totally true, right? Like Max opened trading post bunch of dwellings, didn't build a temple round 1, and I was expecting that initial trading post to become like a temple in round 2, but instead it became a stronghold. So yeah, like his priest production was just like super delayed. Darklings obviously aren't super culty, especially not on this map where you have to do like just that much more expensive digging. They just don't have the priests to toss around to the cults. Yeah. Yeah, it's been super nice for Chaos. So Chaos will, like, like at this point, it just looks like they're getting 32 cult points. They get another town. I don't know what town it needs to be for them to get a trading post and a dwelling down, but maybe it's a power town or something. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They pass for 21. I don't know. Bizzle passes at 106, and then he has 32 call points. So he's 138, and he does tie everyone else in network. I get 700 elo. I did, yes. I got it, and then I got 700 elo, and then I was like grinding, playing a lot, getting my ass kicked, recovering again. I like kept going, and then I got a pretty good winning streak. I was like feeling pretty good. Got to 700, played a few more games, got up to like, I don't know, 710, 715, something like that, and then things just got super busy, so I like stopped playing for a while. And then when I came back to play a couple games of Terra Mystica, I was just like, oh yeah, this game, what am I supposed to do? And like, I don't play regularly enough to like keep in that sort of same like top game headspace. And so every time when I play now, I'm just like coming in second, coming in third. So just like thrown away, well, not thrown away, but other people have been winning games. I haven't been doing super well lately, so I've dropped quite a bit, but oddly, I got the trophy for like first elo, like getting to the top of the leaderboard before I hit 700. I think I got it at like was one of those weird times at the top of the leaderboard, like a bunch of people had like, I don't know, just like lost some games and stuff. And so there wasn't anyone who was 700 rated other than like one of those 2-player or 3-player specialists, like Good Sorry or one of those people. And so I was like, wasn't really paying attention to it. I was second or third or like whatever, and had like taken a break. And then I was like, on BGA, and it just like, it popped up. So I got like the trophy for first elo, not after I like played a game, which is like when you would normally expect it to happen, right? You'd like play a game, you'd win, you get an elo spike, and be like, congrats, you get the number one elo. But it was like I wasn't playing, and like someone just dropped off the leaderboard. So I was just on BGA, and like the thing popped up, and then I hit the 700 thing later, and have since dropped a lot. But anyhow, these things happen. All right, it's been 8 minutes. This is a little rough. I might just try to shut this crazy thing off for a second, just so that I can chat with these guys and see what's going on. This is going to look super wonky. Oh, actually, it's not so bad. Sorry, now we're back to normal. I just want to see what's going on here. Oh, he kicked? The kick? What? He's back. Oh, he's on his phone. Sweet. Okay. Okay, well, let's see if I can do this and if it will still... might not. Just hold on a second, guys, folks. How do we do this? Nothing's happened yet. Okay, we're back. So Bizzle took Air 1 and Earth 3. Makes sense. He doesn't need Fire 2. He's building the trading post anyhow. Air 1 and Earth 3 gave him all the power he needs to build the trading post. He'll build the trading post. He'll have 2 workers left. And then he needs, like, I don't know, something. A priest town to convert to a coin or whatever to build the last dwelling. And now it's Mac's turn. Super sick game by Bizzle here. What did Max end up doing? Max just advanced shipping. Right, I guess Max has nothing else to do. He's advances shipping, and he's passing. Next move for 4 points. What was that all about, guys? Oh, he knows he's getting the leech? Claybo just built the trading post with his priest. Right? Which, for a second there, I was like, he can no longer connect. But is that because he's taking this 6 for 5? What's going on here, folks? Someone chime in chat. He does decline. Okay. But I'm not crazy, right? Was that just a mistake on Claybo, or was that 3 extra points on the trading host somehow better than tying everyone on network? What was that? Yeah, SJ, totally. Because the thing I wasn't thinking about when I was last muttering about Darkling's town, like I was thinking they would triple dig H6, but of course because they have the stronghold, they don't actually need to dig anything. They can just like use those priests on whatever they want. And they're just like getting out one more dwelling. Like they can just build it on H5 and then just like dig anything. So yeah. So in retrospect, it didn't make sense for me to think that Claybo was taking single spade there because he would have had to use it on H6 or I9 to connect with his flight. So the only thing I can think about is like we had a 10-minute break in the game and Claybo was just like, I don't know, just like checked out for a second there and sort of forgot what he was doing, and like that might have just been like a mistake. Because I don't know what he does with his resources now other than just advance ship for 3 points anyhow. So. Oh, Darkling's connecting with D7. Nice. Yeah, that must have just been a mistake for Clay. I mean, obviously it was. It was a 3-point trading post versus a 4-point ship advance, and yeah, I mean, it would have been a 4-way tie on network, right? So that's 10, 20, 36 divided by 4. Would have been 9 points each, and now it's 12 points. Right? That's how that works, right? They were all slated to get 9 points. Now Claybo's getting none, and the other 3 are getting 12. So Claybo just went down like literally 10 points, and everyone else went up 3. Yeah, but he would have had to dig, decline, build, but and then fly to it. Could have he known that Darklings, that was their only connection path, was to triple dig D7? Darklings would have killed it 100%. Mind you, what resources did Darklings need, though? All those priests to dig the only connection hex that they could, so they couldn't advance ship 3 times? I don't know. Okay, there we go. That's what I was wondering, chickens. Is if they couldn't have taken it. So Clay shouldn't have built the trading post, and then he should have taken the 6 for 5. All right. Good talk. Actually, the 6 for 5 might have been the right call, because then he would have won network outright. Someone math that out, though. Like, later, or talk about it in Discord or something. But, like, is there a world where, like, just building that trading post, taking a 6 for 5, building another dwelling to get 2 earth 1 points, the 3 points for water 1, and then just like getting network outright versus the just 3 multiple ship advances? Always better, George. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, seems like it would have to be. Okay. Which initially, for a second there, I thought that's what he was angling after. I was like, what? Why did Clabo build this trading post? And then I saw Darklings build their stronghold, which was like, oh, whoa, Galaxy Brain stuff. Clabo totally, gave up all his resources, but knowing that Darklings are going to build their stronghold. But yeah. I'm hearing always take 6 for 5s noted. Anyhow, good game all around. I don't know who's winning this. Bizzle is getting... Well, witches aren't winning anymore. Not after that catastrophe. And it's a 3-way tie on network, and Bizzle just has more call points, so congrats, Bizzle. I mean, surely that was Clabo's game. I think the original, just like not the TP 6 for 5 single spade nonsense, but just the straight up 3 ship advances, was a delta of 10. Oh no, Bizzle was just always winning this. I think Darklings, Chaos, and Mermaids go down by 3 points, and Witches go up by whatever I said earlier, 7 or 9 or something. So Bizzle was just always winning. What did Witches do? So, as you'll notice, just a sec, I'll go back to the final situation. Congrats, Bizzle. Unfortunately, I can't do a post-game interview today, but congratulations. In terms of the final situation, okay, so Witches didn't connect. That's the main thing. They're only at 2 shipping. They went Priest to Worker to build a 3-point trading post, as opposed to just advancing ship, so they would have 3 structures left on their board like everyone else. That's basically it. So they built a 3-point trading post as opposed to a 4-point ship advance, and then, gave these guys more network points, because the prize was split 3 ways as opposed to 4, and he didn't get any network at all. But the thing that I totally missed was, like, even if Clabo hadn't done that, like, Bizzle just always wins here. Why he didn't take H6. Yeah, check the when I post this to YouTube, Bubsy1. Just we chatted about that in chat. There were lots of comments, and I talked about it a little bit about H6. Darklings had extra priests, and it's unclear whether or not they would have interrupted them. Chickens made a point that Witches might have been able to get away with it by taking a single spade, declining to build, and flying, that Darklings needed all their priests to connect onto D7, but it would be a bit of a sketchy move, probably. Yeah, that's crazy, Chickens. Because the other crazy thing about this, hear me out, is like, I still think building the trading post was inaccurate, because if he builds the trading post, had Darklings known what he was up to, which, as it turns out, he just built the stronghold anyhow. But I think Darklings had stalling moves. Like, did Darklings had a priest before he built the stronghold? I think. I can't remember. But like the concern is you'd have to go back and look. But the only way that building the trading post could be correct. Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. Thanks for the follow, Jim. It's always good to have you in chat. Is if, like, once he builds the trading post, he knows that the only thing Darklings can do next move is build the stronghold. But I think maybe Darklings had 10 minutes to notice stuff. Yeah, for sure. I think Darklings had a priest that they could have stalled, and then it would have been super sad. Yeah. Yeah, but that was a crazy ending to that game. Madness. All right, I'm going to quickly pull up the... sorry I can't do a post-game interview, guys. I assume that was probably obvious, given that I don't have a co-caster today either. Having some audio encoding issues on my computer. It's super annoying. If anyone knows, like, a lot about audio, wants to help friend out, DM me on Discord. What am I looking for here? Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. Hey. Lord Ebis. I hope I'm pronouncing your username correctly. Lord Ebis. Is that correct? Let me know if that's not. Where are the standings here? schedule standings. Okay. There. Okay. So, where were we before? So this is a little confusing for anyone who's seeing this going on right now. I was away for a couple of weeks, so I kind of missed what was going on. But obviously, due to scheduling, we sort of moved some games around or whatever. We were playing this game today. So at some point, we're going to have to go back and play the September 13th game, I guess. I don't know if that's next week. I don't know whose bye is next week, whether it's Claybo or who. But anyhow. But point is that Halai was in the lead. Bizzle gets 6 points, so he's at 9. Second place, congrats, Lord Ibis. So you're at 10. Bizzle's at 9, and Claybo is at he came in last, so he's got 1, and Max has got 1. So what did I just say? 9, 10, 9. So it's neck and neck with Halai, Lord Ibis, and Bizzle right now. Darklings take 4th if they don't connect. Oh gosh, probably. The network swing was like super important. If they don't connect, yeah, presumably. I mean, the thing is like Darklings don't get to do anything else more interesting with their resources if they don't connect. They still just convert their priests into dig points and build a dwelling. So if they still, like, everything else is the same minus network. And if they don't connect, they would have 8 structures in the north, which would be worse than witches. So they would just lose, like, what is that? 12 points? Yeah. Yeah, they would just straight up lose 12 points. Yep. They'd be 132. And then Bizzle and Max would be even higher. Yeah, so Darklings don't connect. They come in last. So I'm trying to work out what happened there. Yeah, it must have just been like, I mean, I don't know. Stuff happens. It was probably just, sort of like a mistake. I don't want to say a misclick, because it was obviously like intentional to do the conversion, but I've had those moments in Terra Mystica where you just do something and you're just like, oh, whoops, you just miscount or something like that. Yeah, I think you did have those 2 priests as well, Lord Ibis. I thought it was at least 1. Yeah. It's true, but he didn't. I know, so it's complicated to comment on, because it's like... Technically, Claybo made a mistake by building a trading post, because he didn't know that Darklings were going... because he didn't know whether or not Darklings were going to build the stronghold the very next action. The fact that Darklings did build the stronghold next action was actually a mistake on Darklings' part, but then it was a mistake again on Claybo to decline the leech. So there were like, I mean, it's a very like wild ending to a game, where otherwise I'm sure Lord Ibis was just expecting like witches to upgrade shipping a couple times and otherwise weren't paying that much attention to their game. But technically it was sort of like 3 mistakes in a row, if you want to look at it like that. Anyhow, all worked out in the end for Bizzle. Congrats, Bizzle, on a great win. Sorry for making fun of your favorite tile selection, as per usual. Yeah. I don't want to be a Fire 1 snob or anything like that, but I was really concerned you weren't going to have enough coins to pay for stuff, and here you are tying for first in network and getting 2 towns, so what do I know? Bizzle obviously made 0 mistakes. Bizzle doesn't make mistakes in games. Bizzle has solved Terra Mystica. He's writing a book, actually. There were just so many coins in the game. Yeah, that's true. There were, yeah, congrats on the game, man. It's like pretty crazy. Yeah, really, really well played. It's very cool. Anyone know who's up next week? Whose bye is it? Does anyone know whose bye it is next week? That's really the key information. Here's our little thing here. Whose buys are left? It's either Lord Ibis or Claybo's having a bye. It's yours. So this is the game we're playing. So we're playing this game next week. We're playing the October 11th game next week. Gotcha. So it's Max, Halai, Bizzle, and Claybo all playing. Very cool. Awesome. Well, good luck on that. Well, with that, folks, I think I'm going to wrap things up for now. It's a pleasure to be back to do a little bit of casting. Sorry again that it took so long to get started, but appreciate everyone jumping in. We had like over 30 viewers or something. People were super chatty today. So yeah, it's just really nice to reconnect with everyone. Tune in next week. I think I'm going to be able to stream it again, hopefully with less technical glitches. So hope to see you guys around then. Have a good one.